Good day to everyone who's watching. In our lesson today of algebra, we are going to talk about the applications of quadratic equations. These are problems that lead to the quadratic equation, which we can easily solve using our methods there, the one you can choose, and then you get the answers. Example 1. Two numbers which differ by 3 have a product of 88. Find them. So we are going to first generate the equations from the statements there, that is making mathematical statements. So if I let the numbers b, m, and n, they have said they differ by 3. That is, the difference in between them is a 3. Then their product is 88. When I multiply m times n, I get 88. So here I have my two equations there. Now what I'm going to do is to make one unknown here the subject of the formula, then I substitute it in equation 2, or I make any unknown here the subject of the formula, then I substitute it in equation 1. So from my equation 1, the m is going to be equal to n plus 3. I've taken the n the other side to become a positive. Now I'm going to substitute this into equation 2. Equation 2 is m times n to be equal to 88. Where I see m now, I'm going to put n plus a 3, then into n is equal to 88. When I open the bracket, n times n, this is going to give me n squared, n times 3, that's going to be 3n is equal to 88. Now this one is a quadratic equation. So I'm going to take the 88, this other side of the equation, such that a 0 can remain the other side. This is going to be n squared plus 3n minus 88 is equal to a 0. Now I identify the sum and the product. Sum is equal to positive 3. Product is equal to negative 88. Now I'm going to be somehow speedy because we did the solving of quadratic equations. So the factors there, we have positive 11 and negative 8. When you add them, they give you positive 3. When you multiply them, they give you negative 88. So I'm going to substitute them here. This is going to be n squared plus 11n minus 8n minus 88 is equal to a 0. Factorizing the first two, n is common to have n plus 11. Then factorizing the 2, negative 8 is common to have n plus 11 there is equal to a 0. Factorizing further, this is going to be n minus 8 into n plus 11 is equal to a 0. So either n minus 8 is equal to a 0 to get the n here as positive 8, or n plus 11 is equal to a 0 to get the value of n here as negative 11. Now I'm going to use my third equation here to get my value of m. So m, if n is 8, and then I punch in the 8 there, the m is going to be 11. Then here, if n is negative 11, then I get the m as negative 8. Those are the values that can give us these two conditions here. When you try to substitute m is 11 minus 8, you get a difference of 3. And when you multiply, you get 88. Then also, when you get m, which is negative 8, then minus 11, you'll be getting positive 3 there. And when you multiply, you'll be getting also positive 88. Example 2, a number exceeds 4 times its reciprocal by 3. Find the number. So if I let the number be r, now trying to write the mathematical statement, a number exceeds 4 times its reciprocal by 3. If I have a brother and I exceed my brother 4 years, that means that you get the years of my brother and then add 4 there to get mine. Or when you subtract our age, you should be able to get a 4. My r minus 4 times the reciprocal of r should give me a 3. That is, the number is bigger than 4 times the reciprocal by 3. Then this is r minus 4 all over r is equal to a 3. Now here you can see we have a fraction there. The LCM of the denominators is going to be r. So I'm going to get r and I multiply it throughout the whole equation. So that is r times r all over 1 minus r times 4 all over r is equal to r times 3. So here you get r squared, then r here cancels with that to leave a minus 4 is equal to 3r there. Then I'm going to take the 3r this side of the equation, because we say for you to solve a quadratic equation, make sure that the right hand side there is a 0. So this is r squared minus 3r minus 4 is equal to a 0. Sum is equal to negative 3. Product is equal to negative 4. The factors become 1 and negative 4. When I add them, I have negative 3. When I multiply them, I have negative 4. So this is going to be r squared plus r minus 4r minus 4 is equal to a 0. Factorizing the first two here, r is common to leave r plus 1 in the bracket. Negative 4 is common to leave r plus 1 inside the bracket. Factorizing further, because this and that are the same, this is r minus 4 into r plus 1 is equal to a 0. Either r minus 4 is equal to a 0 to have r here as a positive 4, or r plus 1 is equal to a 0 to have r here as negative 1. When you try to substitute these values back there to see if they can give you a 3, that is 4 minus 4 all over 4. You can see that this is going to be 4 minus 1, and you get a positive 3 there. Then when I use a negative 1 there, so this is going to be negative 1 minus 4 all over negative 1. You see that this and that, they are going to be positive. Then 1 plus 4, this gives me positive 3. So the two answers, they are correct. Example 3, a rectangle of length 4x minus 1 centimeter and breadth of 2 centimeters has an area of 10 centimeters squared. Find the value of x. this is our rectangle there with an area. So the formula of getting the area is length times width. The length has been given there and the width. When I substitute my length, this is 4x minus 1 into the width, which is 2x, is equal to the 10. Then now I'm going to open brackets on the left hand side. 2x times the 4x there. This gives me 8x squared. 2 times the negative 1. This is going to be minus 2x is equal to a 10. Bring 10 this side because this is a quadratic equation. So this is 8x minus 2x minus 10 is equal to 0. So I can first simplify because I'm seeing a factor of 2 without the equation. That is, I'm going to divide that factor out such that I can reduce on the equation. So this is going to be 4x squared minus x, then minus 5 is equal to a 0. Now here you can easily identify the sum and the product. Sum is equal to negative 1. Product is equal to 4 times negative 5 to get negative 20. The factors, you can see that when you add 4 to negative 5, you get negative 1. And when you multiply the 2, they give you negative 20. So the 4 and the negative 5, they are the factors there. Substituting the factors for the sum here, this is going to be 4x squared plus 4x minus 5x minus 5 is equal to a 0. Factorizing two terms, 4x is common. Now this one is going to be x plus 1, which is left. Negative 5 is common. When I pull it out, inside I'll be left with x plus 1 is equal to a 0. Now factorizing further, because that bracket is the same, here I'll be left with 4x, then there I'll be left with the minus 5 into the x plus 1 is equal to a 0. Either 4x minus 5 is equal to a 0, to have 4x to be equal to positive 5, then finally x to be equal to 5 all over a 4 when you divide both sides by 4, or x plus 1 is equal to a 0 to have the value of x there as negative 1. Then one of these answers is correct. When you try to feed in here, if you use a negative 1, we cannot have a negative distance because the breadth and the length, we consider them to be distance. Distance is the length between 2 points. So the breadth is a distance as well as the length there is also a distance. So they can never be negative. Even if when you put a negative here, this is going to be negative 5. So this solution for negative, we just eliminate it. Then the correct value of x is 5 all over 4.